Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel, Goliath Paris with Indian Hen Farm. This is a quick tutorial video. I just finished my last video, and we stopped kind of where we were making these. So I was just going to show you real quick how I make these, journaling cards. And I use these, oh my gosh, I did it again. 6x4. I always want to say 8x5. 6x4 index cards. I have tea dyed mine. On this one, I did do like a postcard stamp, but I'm going to keep these just journaling cards this time, just for the sake of quickness. Obviously, if you have the postage stamp, you can just plug that in there. I think it's been at least a year that I made this huge order off Temu. And I have a ton of papers, I don't know, haven't really used much, haven't really found a purpose for. And that's what I kind of did with these. So we're just going to get some of these papers out. So, like I've got this one. It's pretty. I wouldn't really use it that way. It's kind of flimsy. I'm getting more selective about what I buy. And I'm really starting to know what I use and what I don't use. And I think that's really the biggest thing. I do have a whole bunch of these tabs. Let me grab that. This is the, what is this? Oh Lord, I can't even read that. Something craft whale tag punch. I'll link to this. I am not sponsored by anything. I do this for the enjoyment. But I'll link to this. It's worked out really well for me. I've only had it maybe 4 or 5 months, but haven't had any issues with it. And what I like to do is take like my leftover scrap pieces of cardstock, you know, when you only end up with a little piece. And I'll just cut out tons of them. And that way, as you can see, I really got carried away. But that way I have like all kinds of flavors. I feel like I'm in a candy store. I'm going to put this out of the way. And I've got this paper pad, which just isn't my favorite. But I have liked this as a contrasting element to this, especially since I'm doing that evening journal. But let's just go ahead. So I have the 8x5 index cards. I've got 2 different sort of contrasting papers I'm going to use. I have my whale tag. And then I put in a charm. So I'm going to use my grommets. And the last thing I'm using is these Tim Holtz. Let's see if it, hold on. Rub-on transfers. Oh my gosh. Okay, this is one of the things I'm obsessed with, and I will buy over and over and over again. Rub-on specimen. I think these, I know there's a lot of glare. I think these are brilliant. I should just buy the rubber stamp set, and that way I don't have to buy it over and over again. Maybe I'll do that next time and see how that works. Okay, so we're gonna be quick. I'm gonna shut up. Okay, so when I tea dye my cards, sometimes I end up with like, I don't know if I have any, like an imprint. Yeah, like on both sides from one lane against the other. I've gotten a lot better at that. So what I'm trying to say is I'm using my index cards that don't have that because I like the faint lines. I don't even think the camera will pick them up. That's how faint they are. Well, okay. Well, trust me, they're there. And I like that because I struggle to write flat or on like unlined paper, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So I'm going to start by just grabbing, let's see. I have a whole bunch of these. I'm just going to grab 2. Let's just do 2 because I want to keep this video quick. In fact, I might just do 1. We'll see how it goes. So, but this is a great sort of mass make because I'm just going to cut those in half. And these are not the exact size of these. They're a little short. So I just trim them down once I'm done. I'll grab my... I have to be careful. Sometimes when I'm doing 15-minute videos, I get frazzled because I'm trying so hard to move fast. And so I'm not going to do that. I'm just... My intention... This would be a 15-minute project without me talking or anything else going on. If you're going to sew, obviously, the edges of these, you could just use glue stick. I'm a big fan of this art glitter glue. I use it for almost everything, so I'm just going to come as far as I can. I don't want to have to trim more than one side. So there's one. Am I on camera? I hope I am. My intention is to be on camera. Let's do this one. And I find this to be a really good use for papers that maybe I don't love, or I really like the image, but it's super flimsy paper. So it's kind of my... Okay. Oh, come on, dollies. There we go. Okay. So we'll do 2. That way, usually if I take everything out, I'm going to do a stack. But, that being said, okay. And that one. Okay. Just cut this little excess off. Cutting that with my scissors because I don't want to get glue all over my cutter. Okay. There we go. So I got these. And then these, I will take a mix of them. And I'm just going to tear. My gosh, let me pull you up. There you go. Hopefully y'all saw this. Okay, let's try that. So I've got these pieces. Okay. And then I'm going to trim this down just a hair. Just make sure that's off. Okay. It feels so quiet in here. Alexa, play background music. There. Haha. Chill background mix. Let's see how chill it is. Okay, so I've got this sort of look going, right? Well, now, I'm just going to pick a few of these. Maybe that one, and maybe, maybe like that. Let's just do it for the sake of argument, right? Because you can get... So, my intention with this is not to overthink it. Just to grab and play. Because I actually think this is one of those projects that actually looks better the less you think about it. When I start thinking about it, I'm always like, oh, it doesn't look as randomly cool. So, and I just ink these this is such a simple project, but I think it looks really good. And Alexa, volume down. I think it's a fun journaling card. I'm just using a little vintage photo along the edges because I like the contrast. Okay. I would ink these more if you weren't here, but we're not going to overthink it. Okay. I'm using art glitter glue, like I said. Everyone's got their own favorite glue. I always come back to this one. Maybe I should just accept that we are in a long-term committed relationship. Okay. There's one. I almost... and you can cut these in smaller pieces. Am I stating the obvious here? Yeah, I know. I do that a lot. My daughter's always like, yeah, Mom, I figured that part out. Well, what can I say? And on some of them, I'll use book page. I didn't on this one because when I do book page now, I feel like I have to check the book, make sure the page doesn't have anything inflammatory on it. I need to just go through and create a stack of those that have. So I've got something like this, right? Okay. And I like to do like in odds because odds are for collage. Just look really, really good. And then I'm going to take any excess paper off the edges. Let's just see. I think I got a little bit here. A little tiny bit. Okay. I think I'm just procrastinating because I don't want to do my tax paperwork. Much to my poor husband. He's like, Delias, can you please do it? And I'm going to round the corners because that just looks nice. Ah. Or you could just round two, whatever you want, right? So now I have journaling back here. And I've got a really cool kind of collage look here. And we'll ink around it. You can even do some stenciling on there, which might look kind of cool. And I'm going to ink the back. Just so it looks nice and finished. Okay, there's that. And then pick a whale tag. See, do we want to go lighter or dark? Or dark? You know what? I've been digging this paper. Oh, you know what? Let's do one of these. Okay, let me get these out of the way. Got this. Okay. You know how you get addicted to stuff? It's like I can't use any other. This is my favorite shape, sort of tab. And I don't seem to want to ever use another shape anymore. I love it. I love it, love it, love it. Okay, here we go. So now with this, we would choose, you know, where we want to put this. But before we do that, I'm going to choose one of these pieces. I think I have one that's... Nope. Okay, it's fine. I am obsessed with rub-on transfers. I love them. Love them, love them, love them. I'm going to do this 3043. And I cut mine together with the top plastic. And then I just put this back in the sleeve. And that way they don't, like, come apart. Then I take this off. hold on. That works. And I use my bone folder and just rub it. They come with these popsicle sticks, but I always have my bone folder right here. So I just use it. Okay. 3043. And then I do want one other little thing on there just for and a lot of times for this part I will use a rubber stamp, but I've got this one right here, so I'll just use this. Let me cut it. It's like a little postage stamp sort of thing, just for a little something else. Put that in there. Okay. Let's get that off. And just gives like a little more sort of a distressed look. Okay. And now, so, okay, I have both. Sorry. I have the crocodile, but I find that very difficult to show you guys what I'm doing on camera. So I'm going to use my hand one. I also think this is easier for folks. Well, folks who are probably new probably have this one as opposed to the fancy set. I may be wrong. Oh, crap. Fudgeroni, I just dropped a bunch of ribbons. Okay. It's okay. I'll pick them up here in a second. So these come with this sort of piece and then one of the little bottom pieces. It looks like a washer. And I think if you look at it, you can see how they fit together. There's kind of like a, on these, there's like a smooth side and then there's like a rough side. So we're going to put this through. Sorry. Oh. Okay. So I've got that in with that piece sticking out, right? Then smooth side is going to go up. Okay. And I have a few sets. Got this little piece. So I'm gonna pop this in here. Pop my smooth side down. Okay. And I've got my little thingamajigger. We're gonna give it a little hammer. Okay. Okay. So now I've got a little grommet, or, yeah, for my charm. And I'm not going to do a charm with y'all today because I think you guys can come up with your own charm. And let's just... Okay, that's annoying. Alexa, off. That was... Did you guys hear that? That was so obnoxious. It was all like... I'm like, maybe it's trying to drive me crazy. Okay. And that's that, guys. Quickest little journaling card ever, right? And then you would just attach a charm to it. So, super quick, super easy. I mean, I think that's really pretty, and looks more complicated than it is, which is always a bonus, right? So I just wanted to show you guys these, and then, here, let me just get all this. I might as well make a bunch more, but then this can slide in to any of these sort of pockets, right? And you would put a charm here, and it would just hang off the edge, like, well, oh, like this one. So, you, like I said, pretty easy, right? But I thought I would share it with you guys. Okay, I hope you liked the video. It's just a quick idea. Sometimes those are really nice for when you don't have a lot of time. Hit like and subscribe. Feel free to share. Questions, comments, concerns. Right now, I still respond to everything. So, enjoy the rest of your day, y'all.